Okay, did you get the did you were you able to fade over
Yep.
yet?
To
Oh, were you? Okay. I'll have to go back and watch it.
uh,
I couldn't catch it on
oh,
what
did
I've got
you?
here.
I just faded into us. Sorry. I had to
Oh, okay.
I had to adjust. I just faded into what you're seeing right now, and so your screen had the had a little bit of flux in there. We'll get better at it. I now
All
know
right.
what you were looking for, but I was
All right.
working
No
on
worries.
something else. If you'll notice above your head, I was
I
working on
was
that.
yeah, I was seeing that. So okay, let's kind of keep it through the night. So um Sierra is taking a little bit of a hiatus from social media. Now, that wasn't necessarily why she couldn't join us tonight. Her in-laws were in town and dinner and friends, family, all sorts of messed up weekend plans that didn't happen, did happen, kind of stuff. So she had to take time away, and that's good. And otherwise, we were prepared for a conversation that is going to continue on without her, and we kind of I explained because that's what we're doing here is choosing roster spots, right? So
Okay.
it's like, okay, we're gonna want what's the roster spots, and part of tonight's conversation was, well, okay, you've got your players and your roles, and now we're talking about going on to the game aspect of this, right? This is the currency games aspect of things. So, how many people are on an active roster? How many on a practice squad? Like roles are designed for a game plan, right? That's what we're talking about here. So we need to begin defining certain like different roles here, and like I figuring out like, so how many, what's a roster spot? And in my head I was thinking like a roster spot was sort of like a Udicci TV primetime schedule,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So then it's like, okay, so if it's a Udicci TV primetime schedule, that would be your Thursday night social. That's the first one. This is what you. So we've got your primetime piece, which could be 2 hours, and you basically sort of boost your way into the stream. Like
Okay.
you just like, okay, but like now how many do you start with? Well, we got players and roles here. We talk about the audience, and I think that we could sort of have the number of we could have some fun with like your roster spots, and your roster spots when it comes to having conversation are the people who want to talk to you, right? Like it's kind of
Right.
like they actually want to be part of the conversation for some reason.
Right.
Hopefully, right? Hopefully, it's like they have something worth talking about. But if not, you and I do, so fine. Um, so yeah, something like that, right? Like, so what's the number of roster spots in the
Right.
game of that we're that we're defining here? And let's see. So that was players and roles, right? And yeah, it's sort of, so what are the roles, right? So one of the things is I think about the pirates, like what's their role? Now that's what their question is. We're going to ask them what's their role, and we talk about market partners, and yeah, absolutely, they are market partners,
Right.
right?
Right.
And any way you want to look at it, they are market partners, which sort of says um, they work with you for a while,
Right.
right? They
Well, that's
work with
what.
you.
Yeah. You and sometimes they're hitchhikers or just people along just that are doing participating, and then there are those that are more involved, and so there's different levels of involvement, and the people that really truly get involved, that's where more we're looking for the market partner side of it. So yeah.
Yeah. So if we start thinking in terms of like what a market partner is, it might actually be for us, one of the market partner roles that we're looking to fill right now are the advocates,
Right. Right.
right? So we're looking to fill the advocate roles. Okay.
Hopefully,
Now,
we have a plan to fill a few of those roles.
no,
Or huh?
well, wait, okay. The roles will be filled.
Right.
We're just gonna like, this is what needs. God's gonna send,
Yeah.
and it's gonna happen that way.
Well, based on everything that we're facing in front of us and why we're like, kind of doing the extra hard work right now and why we're putting forth that extra effort right now is because at the end of this, that's the hope is that there's going to be like something given in that moment that's going to accelerate it even more than what's being accelerated now.
Expand on that.
I don't know how much we can share at this point, right? Or are we?
I don't know how far you want. I mean, we don't have to do
Well,
anything on
there's
the
something.
contract
Yeah,
side of
there's.
things. Nothing on the
Yeah.
contract side of things,
No,
unless you
no, no,
want to
no.
be
I was thinking
very
more New York
elusive
City.
about the contract things. Oh, um, you know,
Or
or
they're of.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
so
kind of
yeah,
thinking that like it
we
would
do
be an
not
easy
speak
live
that
stream.
which we do not speak of that which is uncertain. I don't know.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like that's
But
it,
the
but that's
reason
okay.
why we're doing all of this and why we're laying our foundations where we're laying our foundations when it comes to the blockchain and blockchain solutions. Although I have started looking at other libraries for other blockchains, so because now I hear that there's there might be another one that we could do smart contracts with. So
Oh, same language.
no, not same language, but with plugins, like
Okay.
libraries.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about the fact that these libraries are going to start coming out left and right now
Oh,
too.
oh, good grief! Yeah, they're happening fast and furious. I mean,
Yeah,
keeping up with
I
React.
can't imagine.
So that's like what we need is we need people specialized in certain areas. When we start looking at the filling the roles, we need to make sure that these people are kind of matching up with like certain skill sets because when you think about developing C# Web API, how many updates happen in a month from all of the different libraries that we utilize now. And then when we're looking at React, we need somebody that specializes and understands React for the same reason, or JavaScript, or even BSV and those areas as well. So
Yeah, no, and exactly. Yeah, I mean, ultimately speaking, it's a matter of saying where do you see yourself in this conversation, right? It's
right.
do you like okay, these guys are nut jobs. They keep talking about this 10-year thing. They've got a good story, or they don't. We haven't bothered to listen to it. I don't know. You know. So yeah, we don't know. We're just two guys out in the middle of well, one guy out in the middle of nowhere, anyways. Mosquitoes are coming in. Um,
Yeah, I'm
but yeah,
having to
I mean,
rainbow puke fix you a lot tonight.
so that's like it's a, but it's like the specialized skills. That's exactly like
Yes.
as we start talking about your roster spots, right? We want specialized skills on those roster spots. So, we are going to start. Advocates, I think, is where we begin with, and really, what is the skill set of as an advocate? It's just genuine,
Talk.
genuine. Um, genuine self, express yourself, be real, like be honest, be nice, be kind, be graceful, like all of those things. Like let's put love first, that kind of stuff, but just express, be you, talk with us, do
We should
something. I don't
actually,
know. I
we
don't know
should
what that means.
actually start.
Educate.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think we should probably bring in next episode. We should actually talk about the culture that we actually set up for Udicci. Even if we don't share all of it, if we just kind of like talk a little bit about it.
I couldn't even tell you where that stuff is anymore. That's probably like I think buried at the bottom of the ocean in some sunken treasure ship at this point.
Oh man, how many documents? And so yeah, that's a good question. It might be in the platform somewhere, but who knows?
maybe
Yeah,
somewhere, right? That's the funny things like plant like we have no idea what's in the platform anymore. I mean,
yeah.
that's
At
kind
this
of funny.
point,
It's not
there's a
like now,
lot.
here's the thing. You don't have to worry about it. It's not AI yet. You may
Yeah.
choose to make it AI. That's your choice, but it's not AI. We're not going AI, right? You can choose it. You can choose it. Uh,
We should share. You should share the AI disaster that we experienced. Maybe not specifically naming names of any particular company in any way, shape, or form, identifying them, but talk
you mean
about
like the
how
world's leading
AI.
Facebook?
Yeah. Oh, okay. The one we're streaming to, yeah. Let's see if we can get banned from there. Is that what you're going for?
Shadow
Is like,
ban. Shadow ban. So here's a funny thing. Um, there's those things like you're talking about that you probably don't need to share with everybody. So I've got this new theory about sound and I'm playing with it. And um, I just kind of think like, I don't know if that's the thing I should share or not, like what
ah,
that's about.
yeah.
So
Well,
because
that's
you
a good.
should share
Yeah.
every thought that comes to your mind, I'm going to go ahead and share it.
Great. Wait. Oh, I don't know if you can see how many viewers we have on Facebook. On YouTube, I don't think we have.
I,
We might have one or two, maybe.
I
I
don't
think
know.
we get one. So just so you know, the maybe 4 or 5 people that are watching us at this point, so they're gonna hear this. So go ahead. I'll let you. I'll let you speak. Share.
I
Fine.
what? I don't know. I don't know what you're asking at this point. All I know is that we're talking advocates need specialized skill sets. And that specialized skill set is to say, hey, how's it going? How can we cooperate together? What can I do for you that's going to make your life a little bit better? How do we make life better together again? Right? Like, that's advocating. That's advocating for advocating like going out and telling people on Facebook, like or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Like there are these weird guys that have this thing called Udicci, and it really doesn't make any sense, but they know what they're talking about. Like say that on TikTok just once. This show, take it, share it, do it. Like just take it, share it, do it. That's what this is all about. All right, so after the advocates, do we have anybody? Okay, so right now we have an audience and an advocate. So here's the thing, we now have some roster spots that need to be filled. We need advocates and audiences. You can begin the journey to becoming an advocate by being in the audience. How many times?
Hmm.
415. Okay, no, three. No, 2.5. Maybe this is part of the game. Maybe we don't decide that thing. We just kind of say, like,
Hmm.
you've got to be in the audience. You have to agree to be in the audience, and a random number will be selected for them. How many times? I
Yeah,
don't
we're gonna
know.
randomly pick. Hey, one of the thoughts
I'm
I
just
had
going to do.
earlier? What one of the thoughts I had earlier that I thought would be kind of fun is if we start, maybe we could actually start doing like media bits, and actually for every media bit we could lay uh some sort of a location on our display here that we're looking at for Thursday Night Social, and we could put stars in at that spot and have like a star for each one of those, and then anyone who gets into the figures out how to add a star to the to our background, our backdrop here, they could actually be part of it. They could become part of an advocate, something like that.
Okay. Okay. So that would mean that we have to figure out how to actually allow people to contribute characters.
Yes, well, it would be media bits, right? And it would have to be adding it to a specific story, probably.
Well, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the OBS aspect of it. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I'm talking
easy.
more
I
like,
can figure that out. That's easy. Now it wouldn't be characters; it would just be like a dot, and it would be positioned at certain
no,
locations.
I think that it should be more like what we're seeing with play, like it's icons. Like, right?
Okay.
It's more on the road icon, so we need to do it, something like what's right there. I mean, players and roles, but maybe we'll put a little. Maybe I can just design something for
Okay.
you know for this or something. But I would just need to know the size requirements and that kind of thing and what we're really trying to use it for. But
Right.
yeah, I think that be a fun way so basically, um, to be an advocate, you actually have to go through the process of getting your character um, cover on the live stream, uh, something like that, and participate. Maybe you have to at least talk occasionally. How about this? Like, how about that the audience has to vote whether you can become an advocate?
Hmm. Has to vote whether you could become an advocate. So we'd have to have a voting mechanism built into. So we're going to be working on production here pretty soon on Udicci.TV. So we could probably put in some sort of a voting mechanism for something along those lines. So yeah, I could get behind something like that.
That'd be kind of fun, right? And you sort of vote with your coin. So you're actually saying like, no, I support this person, right?
Right.
It's or frankly, I think we could do that. We'll do it this way. You can support with your voice or your coin, either
Right.
way, right? Like you can just thumb it up. You can throw your however that is. We can figure that piece out there. But yeah, doesn't have to be any currency transaction to show support, if you will. But I think that would be fun somehow. An
So,
audience
and for
audience.
clarification, here's something that I added in. So if you look at your screen, I went out and found the definition of advocate, so that you could kind of play off of that a little bit, if so desired. It is now displaying on video.
Um, I can't read it, so you want to read it?
Oh, okay. So it's an advocate as a noun is a person who publicly supports or recommends a particular cause or policy.
Okay. So
And
I
the
think that's pretty
verb,
straightforward.
yep, the verb is publicly recommend or support.
Yeah. So works for me. Here's the funny thing. That's probably also one of those business plan model canvas things, circa 20, I don't know, 11. Advocate. So it is. So audiences must vote upon advocates. They can show their support by voice or by coin. And by voice or by coin? By voice, by voice or by coin.
Do we want to have like a where it's a game where we only allow maybe one per episode or three per episode or seven per episode or something like, and then we
Yeah.
can have
So
one seven selected in Maverick and seven selected in Ceox and seven selected in Unencrypted.
yeah, something right, like yeah,
Okay.
something right. Like so so one of the things that I want to definitely understand about the contracts is um, uh, uh, how soon can we begin and move forward, and like do you have to have x all this defined or whatever else, because I think like when it comes to the games you're almost just deciding what the first contract is and then
Yeah.
the second contract and then the third contract, right? And it just sort of falls back in line with the other two before it, if I'm understanding properly.
Yeah, it's just one succession after another.
Right. So, basically, yeah, I would say that we want to have, I don't know, how many steps. Like maybe there's probably somewhere at one point in time that we had an estimate as the number of steps that would be required to reach commissioner or something like that. So maybe I will
Oh yeah, that's
look
a good.
into
Oh,
that.
yeah. What
I will
was
look
that?
into that number.
Yeah.
The commissioner. We need a commissioner. I'm gonna have to create
We
a
need
commissioner.
brokers. Probably need some start talking. Well, maybe not quite yet.
Yeah, no, we don't need brokers yet.
Yeah, maybe agents soon. Soon
Agents
agents.
probably.
Agents
Yeah, I
soon.
like agents. I'd be willing to. I'd be willing to do
Actually,
that. I mean,
yeah, agents
I've got.
sooner.
Yeah, yeah. Effectively, I have like with the brand builder stuff that I'm doing down here and plan to bring up there. Um, oh, we're gonna have Cheyenne send you a piece of property in Scottsville. Um,
Oh.
it's not gonna. You're gonna go like, okay. You're gonna get it, and I'm gonna say studio space. But
Oh, really?
it's actually so we'll talk about that
All
offline.
right.
Okay, so um,
Oh man, that'd be so awesome to get another studio space. We've been talking about it, just so everybody knows.
yeah,
We've been kind of chatting about it a little bit because the Hungerford kind of really scratched an itch, I think, for
yeah,
both of
and
us.
I'm gonna say that like if this one happens, this is God,
Oh, that
right?
would be fantastic.
This one only happens if it's God.
It's
Um,
not another church,
I'm
is it?
thankful. I'm thankful for the vision. I'm
Okay.
thankful for the vision, and we'll send you the vision.
Hey, we didn't do
Uh,
a historical night tonight either.
no, I know. I said that we were probably gonna not be able to do that one,
Okay. All
but
right.
yeah. So that's
We should
part of
bring back the
roster spots.
pilot. Yeah.
So okay, hold on. So now let's kind of talk about this aspect of it a little bit. Um, Maybe segments are roster spots, right? In that, not quite, but um, so we have a segment we're calling history and
Okay.
character, right? That's basically the name of it. And yeah, I would like to do it every week on unencrypted, and I keep going back to like, where do we want unscripted, but it's not. But I think it's unencrypted. It's fun, whatever. And so history and character, like, yeah, I'd like to try to do that each week in the first hour, right?
Okay.
And then if I think about those type of things, so like here's another thing is the currency games, right? We're going to be just about done with currency games here, coming up on 8:30. And basically there's some a little bit more structure inside of that that's there, right? And now we're going into sports talk, right? So sports talk is, obviously all about the Bills, all about the games, all about the NFL, and except for tonight, because I mean, Tim and I love the Bills, and we could fumble through a lot of fun stuff, but neither of us necessarily probably know all the ins and outs of all the GM stuff.
Yeah,
But
well,
we'll go
yeah.
there for a little bit.
So here's what I know. I know that the Bills beat Chicago. I know that what is it, Trubinsky looked
Yeah.
fantastic, and I know that Diggs hurt his knee and they don't know how. And I also who did I hear was back? Somebody big was back. I can't remember, but that's as far
And
as I know.
and I got to tell you, one of the things that I really appreciated, that paying attention, somebody pointed out the impact in the locker room of the coach's decision to allow Trubinsky to go out and torch up his old team.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like when somebody explained, when I heard that explained, I'm like, yeah, that really does something. It's like, look, it's a game. And when it comes to playing a game, we can walk away, winners and losers, and be okay as long as the game, doesn't hurt so much, right? It's like,
Yeah.
you
Well,
probably
and I
can't walk
did
away from Vegas all the time feeling great, but
right, right. I did hear a interview that he had after it, and they had asked him a couple questions about being able to, to do so well against his old team, and he was really humble about the way he answered the questions, and he really didn't, he was like, oh, they were very welcoming, and I really appreciated the atmosphere and everything. So it was it was definitely a politically correct, but I'm sure in the locker room that guy had to be like, yeah, there you go.
So, I mean, and so if we will, switching into our sports talk segment now is so tonight's episode, right? We called it players and roles. We flipped it on its head. We probably could have been roles and players. We're going to go to players. We're going to be playing the game right now. And, so we're talking about the idea that we're going to have people come in the audience. And, once you're in the audience, you can be selected or supported to become an advocate. And as an advocate, you'll be able to sort of just be yourself, share with us, do what you can, Do what you want. There's going to be some communal oversight, right? Which is, come on, it's about love, it's about compassion, it's that kind of thing. You'll be able to, that's up to you to consider that to be whatever you want to interpret that to be. But just kind of look. We're saying we want to see a lot of love being poured out, and we understand that boundaries have to be made sometimes. Good fences make good neighbors, that kind of thing. I mean, some of the best friends have the fence between them, kind of a deal. So all we're saying with all of that is get in the audience, kind of start sharing your voice, be you, figure out if this is your place to be. We want to welcome all sorts of ideas. But again, we're looking for a heartbeat, right? There's a heartbeat. There's some heartbeats that go a little faster, some that go a little slower. A lot of good loving people out there that don't always get in tune. Those things are okay. It's not going to be for everybody. It's going to be really hard, but you're a player. You're going to overcome this. You're going to get in the game and you're going to bring home the championship. Why? Tell them, coach.
Persevere.
I'm gonna grab water.
All right. Sorry, I was not prepared for that softball. I was.
Hey, look. This is Ceox Sports Talk. It's hardball time, baby. Hold on, I can grab water.
All right. We're gonna go on a short break then. We'll be right back.
I'm on. I thought you were supposed to come on. Weren't you the one talking? Oh wait.
Yeah, you were the
Okay.
one on.
You just don't remember. You were like, oh, that was a fast slow ball.
Yes.
And that was a fast softball. I need to. Oh, quick,
hide.
Reset the whole thing. Reset it.
Well,
get out of there.
Right
out of it.
I was
Don't
try
think
to do something
I'm on to you, player. All right. So tonight's about players, right?
Live production.
So tonight's about the players, right? And so last week when Sean came, Dan came on, and he shared something this week. He shared some movie quotes, and one of the movie quotes I'd never heard of was a movie called Kingdom of Heaven. I've not watched it, but one of the quote was this: "Offer terms, I ask for none."
Offer terms, I ask for none. Offer terms. So for my offer to you, I ask for no terms. So that's kind of like, it's not even, yeah. I was, I was trying to relate that biblically, but even at the core, I'm having a little bit of a struggle with it. So explain more.
So it's interesting. I mean, obviously, there's probably a ton of interpretations of it, but and I've not watched the movie. Um, but when, at first glance, a little exchange I did there um, with Dan when he shared that, I was like, well, I wonder how well would that go for a player? A player's negotiation for his contract, right? And
Right.
and and again, I know that. Uh, Pretty much, I understand. Anyways, the contract negotiations are pretty much done at this point because you got to form into those last little 53 players, I believe it is. I think what is
Right.
it, 90 on the front, whatever.
Yeah.
53 that's going into there. Then you've got your practice squad, right? And
Yep.
um, so in some ways, I guess that's what really the advocates are. They're like a practice squad. That's probably a good way of thinking about what the advocates are, right? They're like a practice squad.
They're helping us
Um,
get better. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Right. We're all working together to get better, right? We're all okay. Let's
Yep.
let's let's do this together. Um, so again, so from that, like this idea, now we've got this football player that goes up to a general manager, right? So we got the Josh Allen, we got the big payday coming up, and he says, "Offer terms, I ask for none."
That's what is that what Josh Allen said?
No.
Oh,
That's
okay.
no, no, no,
Oh,
no,
I was gonna
no,
say,
no.
holy
Let's not
cow.
beep, 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 beep. Like, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I'm saying, like, take any big name star athlete, big
Right.
payday, right? And he fires his agent. Let's just say he
Right.
fires his agent for this account, and he goes up to the GM and he says, "Offer terms. I ask for none."
It seems like a counter. It seems like counter to what you would think.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Well, because offer terms, you're asking for none. So if his offer, he's asking for no terms. It kind of means that he's just looking for an open-ended contract at that point. In some ways.
Yeah, I agree. Like, right, effectively, like in the housing market, when these really hot markets, when you're in them, and they say that because they're going to get 20 offers on the house, they say make your best offer, like make your
Right.
your biggest and best offer right out of the gate, right? So in some ways, um, offer terms, I ask for none. That's exactly that kind of same idea there, right? Like it's going, make your best offer, right?
Right.
Now, here's where I think it gets fun. Simply because I ask for none, does that mean I have to accept the offer?
Oh no. Of course not.
I
It's
think
still
that's
a
where
choice.
I think that's where we get twisted. I think that's where that, like, it's not how we normally think about it, right? I think it's like in that little twist there, because it's like we almost um forget our own right to choose
Right.
in that statement, right? Because you're like, wait, that doesn't make sense. I mean, is that person saying they're willing to do anything, any price, or willing to pay any price? Yes, even unto the cross,
Right.
right? Like,
Right.
right, like, okay, any price. Okay, something just flew down on me. All right, time to get inside. We're gonna work on new. Anyways, always changing, always on the move, trying to figure out how to live life in the groove. Um, yeah. So, anyways, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff, right? When you think about that idea, offer terms, I ask for none. There's a really sound, honest heart in there, right? If you get to the point now, if you only sit there and go, oh, that's awesome, it's all about my choice, well, then you're being disingenuous when you make that statement. So there's an assumption, if there's genuineness to it, there's an assumption that yes, while you have a choice, you get to decide how to treat your choice.
Yes.
which is an interesting thing.
I actually watched a sermon recently that talked about what was the exact word? I got to remember what the word was. Darn it. It was um, it was the idea of having to. It was the idea of you're obligated. That's it. Obligation. So obligation and the way that the way that it was defined, he said, the way he explained it, he said, he goes, I was on my way out the door, and he goes, it was a Saturday night, and everybody wanted me, my kids wanted me, I had my wife wanted me, and son wanted me to go do with this, that, and the other thing, and he goes, no, 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 he goes, I've got to go preach, I've got to go do my duty, and in the moment, God struck him up and said, what do you mean you're obligated? You're not obligated. You're choosing to do that, but you're not obligated. And he said basically, in his mind, he said he heard that he heard the question. He says, "Go ahead, don't go tonight. See if the world stops spinning." And in that moment, he was like, "Okay, obligation. At what point, so how far we take obligation and how we allow that to stress us and cause a lot of overbearing feelings inside of our body that are not necessary for us to feel."
100%. 100%. It's interesting too because you always have to be really cautious with the idea that your works are for your salvation, because they're not at all, right? Like,
Right.
there's no work
Absolutely not.
in salvation. So then I have to start to go, what are my works doing, and what's its impact on my life? And I mean, medical procedure, all the other stuff that goes on with life, like, I have to figure out this work that I'm choosing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I choosing it to do? And kind of get to the heart of the matter. And frankly, if the answer is because I can trade more hours for more dollars, um, okay, fair enough. I understand that measure. I hated it for
Yeah.
years. Tim will tell you. I mean, I've hated that measure for years, and I'm saying it's the wrong measure. But if that's how everybody wants to do things, dollars per hour, I want to tell you a couple of things here. A, the dollar's collapsing and time seems to be bending. So I don't know what you want to do with all of that. Once
Yeah.
you're like, okay, like, we've got to figure out the new way to play the game. Um,
Yeah, I
it's interesting.
did. Hey, I did see that we just got an email for a message rather from Blackbeard. It looks like they're not going to be able to join us tonight. So maybe we just want to cut short for the evening, and or did you want to continue on into Maverick IO for a little bit and see what happens?
Are they so? Is it that they can't get into us, or we
No,
can't
no,
get
no,
into
no,
them?
no. He said they're not quite sure if we're going to be able to make it tonight. Have a little too much going on.
Oh, okay, okay,
So more of
all right,
a schedule thing.
okay, all right. Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. We can definitely just end early then. I
Okay.
mean, or we could go into Mav and kind of talk about what we want Maverick to be, and maybe we could look at, like, Maverick as a roster spot.
Hey, you know what we should do? Let's do a half hour of Maverick IO tonight. And
Okay.
what we should
What I want
do
to
is we
I want to
should
go inside though.
yeah.
So I'm going. Yeah. So what we'll do, I'll reorganize myself there. Yeah. Let's do a half hour of Maverick. Let's cut this short now,
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna
and
queue up I want to queue up a couple of a couple of videos real quick. Maybe
okay.
our pilot and the maybe one or two other ones that if
Our
you have any
pilot.
idea. Yeah, our pilot episode,
Oh,
the Udicci TV.
you wanna cue that up. Okay. So you want me to cue it up on?
Oh yeah, you'll have. Well, I can share it too. Same thing.
Okay. All right. All right.
So
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna transition inside then.
okay.
We'll come back and talk about MavIO, and really, we'll leave this on this, right? Offer terms. I ask for none. I think what we kind of have laid out right now is probably maybe the first card or something that we could turn out as like a little invitation, right? Offer terms, I ask for none. And this is like our market partner thing. And we
Okay.
can kind of send it out to the pirates. And exactly this thing that's like, okay, we're like, you feel the heartbeat happening, you feel the blood going through, but it's a pump. And every now and then that pump starts to, get to the
Well,
point where it's like, ooh, like, we got to get it to the flow. And that's what we're looking to do, is to get it to the flow.
Well, and I think that to that point, when you're talking about sports, it is kind of difficult to think about that kind of a concept. But from the way that we've always talked about Udicci and the where we want it, it does have more of a like, hey, we our things, we're going to be calling them mutual value tokens. Our whole concept is mutual value and finding mutual value. I've led with that so many times because honestly, there's no better way to lead than that, because of the fact that, listen, if we can't find mutual value in working together, then there's really probably, it's going to be an unbalanced relationship that we have to be aware of, and may not necessarily work in a position where we can actually have balance that relationship in with us.
This is where we need to have a little bit better understanding with Jake and have him come on, because I'd like to get some clear answers about how they did their coin. Now, the rune idea, I think, is very interesting. It actually goes all the way back to partner brokering. It's like a temporary partner. Each coin is like a temporary partner broker that's somehow creating a bag of treasure for a final one.
Okay.
Or something. Like,
Okay.
I don't know if they're like creating coins like out of different projects that then collapse into one, or if they're just making multiple coins. I don't know. But I think we need to understand that, because that's exactly what we're saying here.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're saying. It's like, take the step.
Yep.
Take the step. All right, so 8:49, and we will close out. Let's not bother with any of the. I'm just getting eaten up by bugs. So I'm gonna run inside. 10 minutes. I guess we'll just go to break or whatever you need to do here, and I'll get you in a bit.